Hello, Joshua Alston here again for North Central University's class 6102. This is week 10 assignment discussing the systems thinking and psychopharmacology. Wanted to share my thoughts on the discussion that we're having in regards to two questions. The first question is, what key principles should marriage and family therapists use to guide their approach to psychopharmacological with, that's a very long word, with clients? And the second is, how could marriage family therapists take a proactive stance with respect to the limitations and benefits of drug therapy? In regards to the first question, what key principles should an MFT use to guide their approach? I think the biggest thing we need to understand as marriage and family therapists is the fact that we're there supporting the family, the system. We must use all aspects that we have, and pharmaceutical drugs are definitely something that we need to take advantage of when we can, but we need to also understand there are different ways to treat. And I'm not a doctor, I don't have any medical background, but just the understanding of the mind, the understanding that if we can use the system that we have in place, if somebody's feeling depressed at home, it might not necessarily be from a genetic disorder or mental disorder or something going on in their head. It might be the simple fact that mentally they have something going on and they just need to change something, a circumstance in their life that triggers it. And if we can use marriage and family therapists, if we can use the family system as a whole to help create different things that go on in life, then we can help them in order to be less depressed. For example, and this is just my opinions in regards to ADHD, kids that are hyper, kids that can't be controlled, can't focus on different things at once. Many people would say, okay, we'll get them on a drug, get them on an ADHD drug, and that'll help them to be able to focus. Others will say that no, they don't need that. That's just normal human behavior. And that's one of the things that we need to understand is this on a client by client basis. But as a marriage and family therapist, we need to understand and work with our clients as a system. We're part of their system. We're part of the way that they need to react with the world, and we need to take care of the world. So it's one of those things that it might be prescribed if a client comes in and says, my kid can't focus at school, my kid doesn't do different things, and is having a hard time studying. It might not be drugs. It might not be, okay, take this drug or do this thing. If it is, then we have them talk to pull into the system their medical doctor. But in some cases, it might be the fact that we talk to the kid. We talk to the kid himself and say, look, what is it something? He said, oh, if I do this, or I find that if I have recess, or if I get out there, I feel much better with regards to paying attention. Or I don't like this class because of this and this. If we could focus on the emotional side of any client, and the emotional side of any family system, we may be able to help in that regard. So I think drugs are not always the answer. They're definitely there and they definitely have a place. But in regards to as a marriage and family therapist, future marriage and family therapist, I believe the emotional and the strength that we have as a family is much more important. And I think that goes into the proactive stance with respect to the limitations and the benefits. Like I said, there are many benefits. But one of the things we need to understand is in the article by Arnold Relman and R.C. Angel in How the Drug Industry Distorts Medicine and Politics, America's Other Drug Problem, they talk about the rising cost of drugs for the immediate public use. Now roughly 170 billion per year, constitute a rapidly growing fraction of the 1.4 trillion health care bill. Greater overall use of the drugs, higher prices for new drugs, and steadily increases in the price of existing drugs are all contributed to the annual inflation of drug expenditures of 14%. Within a few years, this surge will cost more, and will probably make drugs the second largest component in our national health care budget after hospitalization. The problem with drugs is that it's very political too. So we need to figure out a way to take the politics out of the drugs. And I know it's hard to say, and that I guess it basically comes down to the fact that drugs have a place. There are certain people that need assistance in that area, and that's for the system they have, the people that they have in their place, the doctors, to help them decide if that's the right choice for them. But as a marriage and family therapist, our job is to assist the family in bettering themselves. And so that's part of that things we need to know what is out there and what things that we can use. So I that's my thoughts, my different things. Apologize for the noise that was coming out. My kids are a little crazy. Not that we need to put them on drugs, but we need to go help them. So, but that's my thoughts, and we'll talk to you later.